Alright, we're now going to take our JavaScript to the next level by seeing how we can not only just change the content of an element, but we can also append content to it, which means take whatever's there and then add some extra text to it. And we can make a whole element appear out of nothing. So let's get cracking. Let's add a second paragraph. And I'm going to put in the words JavaScript is, and then ... And we'll give this an ID of second paragraph. And here's a little challenge. Can you add some code and a second button so that when that second button is clicked, the content of this paragraph changes to Hello Rob. So exactly like the first button behaves. So add a new button so that when you press that button, the content of this paragraph changes to Hello Rob. Go for it. I hope you managed it. It's just a bit of copy and paste really is all we need. So let's copy the button code. I'm going to change text to append text. So append means adding something to the end of it. And we'll call this second button. Okay, let's just have a look. Okay, yep, that all looks fine. Obviously, append text at the moment doesn't do anything. So we need to set up some JavaScript to connect that to some code. So again, I'm going to copy and paste. And all we need to do is change the necessary bits so that it does what we want. So we want it so that when the second button is clicked, it updates the content of second paragraph to Hello Rob. So second button, of course, has the ID of second button. So we want to make this function happen when second button is clicked. And we do that using document.getElementById, second button .onClick equals and then function. So very quick question. What would happen if I ran this code now and then click the second button? What will happen? Hope you got it right. It should update Hello World to Hello Rob. There we go. It does. Because it's just doing the same thing as what the first button did, updating the element with ID text, which is this one, to Hello Rob. So we wanted to make it so that it updated JavaScript is, and the ID for that paragraph is second paragraph. And that's it. So now it's going to update second paragraph to Hello Rob with any luck. Fantastic. Okay, so that was the mini challenge and how I expected you to do it. Let's see how then we achieve what we originally wanted, which was how to append some content to this. So first off, the content that I want to append is going to be awesome. So we end up with JavaScript is awesome. The way I'm going to do it, and it's going to take quite a long line of text, so I'm just going to extend this out so we can do it all in one line, is by copying and pasting all of this and then popping it in there and adding a plus symbol. And before I explain how that works, just take a moment to have a look at that and see if you can work out why that will append awesome to the content of second paragraph. I hope you got it. What we're essentially doing here is we're taking the inner HTML of second paragraph, which is JavaScript is ... and then we're setting that equal to the inner HTML of second paragraph, which is JavaScript is, and then we're adding that to awesome, or we're adding awesome to that. So we're setting the inner HTML of the second paragraph to whatever it is plus the word awesome. So we're essentially adding the word awesome to the end, or in programming terms, we're appending the word awesome to whatever the content was before. So let's take a look, see if that does what we want. So refresh, append text, append text. And there we go. JavaScript is awesome. So another teeny challenge then, could you append something else to this line and make it so that it becomes, I think JavaScript is awesome. Go for it. All right, hope you managed that. All we need to do is, before we get the contents of second paragraph, we're going to add I think in double quotes with a space at the end, otherwise it's going to be all one word, and then a plus again. And this means I think, and then whatever the content is, and then the word awesome. So let's have a look. JavaScript is, and I think JavaScript is awesome. I agree. All right. So finally then, how could we make some content appear out of thin air, out of nowhere? And I'm actually going to set this as a challenge. See if you can figure it out. So how can we have no content here, just a button, and then when you click that button, you get some text, whatever you want that to be. Go for it. Did you manage it? Okay. It was a pretty tough challenge, but well done if you got there. The way I'm going to do it is have a paragraph with an ID of empty paragraph. And then that is, of course, just an empty paragraph. It's just blank. Nothing will display on the screen. And then I'm going to have a button with an ID of create paragraph. And then I'll have the words create text on it. And rather than copying and pasting this time, I'll create the code from scratch just to give us an opportunity to see it and talk it through once again. So we want something to happen when the button with ID create paragraph is clicked. So that means we need to get that button first off. And we do that using document to say that we want something within this document. And then we say we want to get the element by its ID. Then in brackets and quotes, we give the ID. So that's create paragraph. And then we set onClick to be a function. And then we have curly brackets in which we're going to put the code for our function. So that means whatever I write in here will happen when that button is clicked. And then all we need to do is make it so that we select the paragraph with ID empty paragraph and put some content in it. So it's exactly the same as what we had up here. And we change the content. Just in this case, we're changing it from blank to some text. So let's see that in action. So document.getElementById, and the ID this time is empty paragraph. And then we want to set the inner HTML to, let's say, hi there. And that's it. Let's take a look. So refresh that. So create text. Nothing's happening. Let's have a look. Find out what's going wrong. There must be an error in my code somewhere. Maybe you can see what it is. But let's have a look at the console. Document.getElementID.innerHTML is not a function. Aha, of course. So line 42, this line here, what I've done, of course, as you probably noticed, was I tried to pass the string hi there to innerHTML. And as it says, innerHTML is not a function. It's a value. It's the content of empty paragraph. So what I should have done is set it to equal to, and then hi there. All right. No worries. Good use of the console. Let's have another look. Create text now, and there it is. Brilliant. So we've created something from nothing there, which is particularly useful if you've got an error message or something you want to display to the user once they've done something. A very quick thing to say is that this can be any HTML. We've only used text so far, but you can put HTML right in here as well. So let's have a look now. We've created a heading. So you can put lists, you can put forms in there, you can put whole chunks of text if you want to. Any HTML will do. All right, I hope you enjoyed those challenges. We're going to have an even bigger challenge in the next video where we're going to create the first part of our reaction game that we'll make at the end of this section. And this first part is called Disappearing Circles.